Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. I realized that I talk a lot about the plants that I like, but I didn't have any content about it specifically or a drawing. So I've done my best to have my medical illustrator copy the drawing that I had. I did not have a physical copy, and I couldn't find any stock photos that I could legally use. And I was too lazy to pay a lab to make it just so I could make content on it. So sometimes I get demos. But yeah, so I just had a medical artist draft this for me. So basically, it's just your standard standard Hyrax retainer, with the screw. Of course, you can use the labs that are using the KKE, which is the keyless expander instead. I'm sure that his labs, the Neo Lab, I'm sure they could put this into an RPE with the tongue crib with the lever if you prefer that to having a key. So no, right now you cannot have the Invisalign palate expander have a tongue crib. Wish you could, can't yet. Maybe someday they will. I wouldn't be surprised. And basically there's a soldered extension, like a little wing like this and a little wing like this. Okay, so one is soldered to one side, one is soldered to the other side. They're like two barn doors, two gates. And as you turn the key, they slowly pass each other. And then once it's fully turned, there's one full gate, not two overlapping gates, if that makes sense. That's how the tongue crib works. Of course, watch all my other content on tongue cribs as well as on anterior open bites, because I'm assuming if you're using this, you've figured out what the etiology of the open bite is and you realize you have to fix that. The crib is not gonna work for all kinds of things. It is not a cure-all. You have to, it depends on what it is, right? So if it's a thumb habit or a finger habit or a stuffed animal, it's not gonna work. You gotta use positive reinforcement, all kinds of other psychological stuff to get rid of that first. This is not getting rid of that. Sorry, kids are way too smart for that. This is maybe more for a tongue thrust, but only a tongue thrust where they've been examined by an OMT and they realize that the fascia that tethers the tongue to the floor is stretchy enough so that the patient can put their tongue on the roof of their mouth in the parking spot where it's supposed to go. And the parking spot is the right size. If your garage is too small, this is not gonna work, right? So sometimes you have to do the expander first separately and then the crib, if that makes sense. And if the patient is going through the stretching or the release treatment process, the crib is not gonna work till after you're done. So there's no point in torturing them and putting it in, because all it's gonna do is make your tongue thrust worse, because then they've got more stuff in their mouth that's just junking it up, and now they're really having to mouth breathe. So you're gonna make your bite worse. So that is why you have to be careful prescribing tongue cribs in patients. I do love me an RPE with tongue crib in the right patient. All right, thanks so much. And remember, if you put one of these in, you gotta keep an eye on the tissue, because if they're sneakily still doing things, and sometimes it's not that they know that they're doing it, they could be doing it at night, they're gonna bury these gates into the tissue. So you're gonna see the arms in the tissue, the gates in the tissue. You have to watch every few weeks or put them on virtual. And sometimes you're gonna have to adjust it out with a 3-prong or a bird beak. Sometimes you have to pull the whole thing out and if they just really bend the heck out of it with their tongue. A tongue is a very strong organ. So sometimes you're gonna have to pull the whole thing out and basically remodel it if they've deformed it. I see it all the time. Don't scold them for doing that, but if they're doing it only at night, it's not their fault. But that also means that you got bigger issues, and this probably shouldn't be in the mouth yet. You probably should be working with myo. All right, thanks.